Grand Rising, everyone. Thank you so much for all the love and support that you've given me so far up to this point. I don't think I'd be able to continue if it wasn't for all the love and comments. Shout out to Rosanna for always commenting. I really appreciate it. Shout out to everybody from Mystical Illuminations that likes my Social Friday videos. Shout out to just all the amazing content creators that I get to like see on my feed on a regular basis. You guys are all amazing. But enough of that. For today's Social Friday, as the title suggests, I want to talk about faith. And now, when it comes to faith, I'm not necessarily talking about like the Christian definition of faith. I'm talking about like faith in regards to social interactions, I guess you could say. Um, and this kind of goes back into the fear aspect and kind of even back to the first episode that I did when I was just talking about like, what is social anxiety and like, why are you scared? Like, why are you nervous? So kind of picking back off of that, I want to like really talk about having faith and how important it is, especially when going into these uncomfortable situations. And before I continue, I just want to make sure that if you have been diagnosed with social anxiety disorder or SAD, please definitely check with your physician or psychiatrist or whoever diagnosed you before trying any of these tips and tricks, because they have their own program and their own ways set up for you, and I don't want to do that. But if you feel comfortable doing it, then please definitely try it out and then let me know how it feels for you. Give me 1 second. All right. Now, as we continue on, what is faith? Let me tell you the definition. The definition of faith is complete trust or confidence in someone or something. Another thing could possibly be faith means a firm belief, assurance, a firm conviction, or faithfulness. Um, Faith is confidence in what we hope for, and the assurance that what's going on and what you're believing in is going to work out in the highest and best and greatest good for you in the long run. That is faith. So that's why I really want to talk about it when it comes to social interactions. When you go into any type of situation, regardless if it's a social interaction or whatever, what have you, what you think about beforehand tends to play out in reality, and that is kind of going into like the manifestation things, which if you ever want me to talk about, I totally can. That's more of the spiritual side of things. However, it is also a psychological thing, like attracts like. So if you're thinking about a negative situation, if you think and believe that the social interaction you're about to go into is going to be absolute crap, then it's going to be absolute crap. I mean, it might end up working out in the long run. Sometimes that does work out for the most part. But why would you want to wish for the worst and then get the worst? When you could expect for the best, and then maybe you might not necessarily get the best, but at least you're hoping for it, and you at least know in your mind what it is that you want. That is, in a short-term, faith when it comes to social situations and just having faith in general. This is something that I saw a quote about, and it inspired me to like really talk about faith for one of the videos for Social Fridays. It was everything that has ever been seen was once unseen. Faith, especially when it comes to creation, it starts as a thought. It all just starts up here, and then as you continuously work towards bringing that thought to life, it changes and manifests and evolves from being unseen to seen. And that's what you can do in social situations as well. You can preset that this is what's going to go as, like, this is how I want to see, and this is starting from I want this social situation to go really, really well. I want to go into these and talk to these people and have the faith that they're going to respond positively back to me, and they're going to have fun and enjoy my company, and they're going to want me to come and hang out with them more. You can even run through your mind like how the conversations are going to run in a positive way. Even if it doesn't quite go that way, you at least have like an idea of like how you're going to respond, how you're going to react, and that kind of builds your faith up. to that situation. So as you continue, doing that, by the time you're ready to go out and maybe talk to a group of people, or just go out in general to like go to the grocery store, maybe that's something that you struggle with, going to the grocery store, or maybe even like calling in to order food because a food app isn't working. Sometimes those are social situations that can cause anxiety. So having the faith prior to that, saying it's going to work out really well, I'm not going to say anything stupid. If I do say something stupid, oh well, it's going to be okay, it's not going to be the end of the world, and in the long run I'm going to have a great time, and I'm going to enjoy myself, or even set the intention that you're going to have a great learning experience from the situation, regardless if it's bad or good. And honestly, like, you shouldn't necessarily think bad or good, but in this instinct, let's just go with that, since we're just still starting off. Having that faith is super, super important, because in the long run, you really don't have any full assurance that things are ever going to go quite the way that you hope for them to, because you never know what's going to happen. People in general are wild cards. So with that being said, if they are wild cards, that means you can't control how their actions are going to be, which is when faith comes in. Faith is basically just trusting that the situation is going to work out in the long run. And that can be a hard situation. So how can you have faith? The best way to have faith is to build on it. Do little things. Maybe, let's say, when you start your day, instead of, if you start your day and you dread the day, or you're exhausted, think about it and be like, you know what? I'm setting the intention that today's going to be a great day, or I'm going to have a great breakfast. Something very small. Have faith that it's going to have, I have faith that I'm going to have a great breakfast. And so when you continue on, you eat and you're like, wow, that breakfast is really, really good. Boom, you're building kind of like faith experience points. And so the more small things that you do, the more tiny things that you do to help expand the faith, the more it will work out in the long run. Sorry, I'm just trying to fix my camera, and I knew I shouldn't have done that, because Gim gets freaked out when I do that. Come on, come back. There we go. So that's something that you can do to start building that faith up. Breathing, and I've said it once, and I've said it a million times, breath work and mindfulness are two amazing things that you can really, really, really utilize in these instances to really help yourself in the best possible way, to keep yourself grounded, keep your spirit elevated, and ultimately help you move through whatever's going on, which can really help you for when it comes down to building up the ability to have faith. After years and years of dreading things and having the worst possible scenarios in your head, like, faith dwindles. That's just like how it is. Just like any type of muscle, I truly believe that faith itself, it can degrade. It can slowly dissolve from us, but it can also be built back up, just like a muscle. But you have to train it. You have to really believe that what you're doing when it comes to faith is correct, number one. And then number two, you have to really trust in the process. And that's the hard part. That's like the most important thing when it comes to faith, is trusting in the process, and trusting that everything that's supposed to be happening is happening in the correct way for your highest and greatest good, which is absolutely difficult, especially if you don't have a lot of trust when it comes down to specifically yourself. So that's kind of when faith comes in. Faith is kind of like that invisible force that kind of help give you a buffer to keep moving you forward, even if you don't have the insurance, knowing that it's going to be okay. That the outcome that you're trying to, that you want to happen, is going to be is actually going to happen. That's that buffer. There's that space. You don't know what's going on. You don't know necessarily if going out and talking to these people, or talking on the phone, or going to the grocery store, you don't know if it's going to be a safe experience, because people are fucking crazy. Point blank, period. So you don't really know. And that's where you have to have that faith. And you also have to have boundaries. I think it's important to also have boundaries when involving faith, because you can't just always believe that everything's going to be okie dokie all the time. You have to have the faith, but also have the grounded expectation that shit can still hit the fan, and being prepared for both. I think having that balance is one of the most important things when it comes to faith in general. Is like you can't just believe that everything's gonna be okay, and then be completely oblivious or ignore the overarching problem. You have to understand that, like, okay, if something comes at me, okay, I gotta take care of it. That's point blank period. But at least having faith gives you a little bit of a kind of a positive outlook, which can be a little toxic, if, like I said before, if you're not balanced in it. But if you have both of them, then you're going to be perfectly fine. I try my best to have faith that the day is going to be, that every day that I wake up to is going to be an amazing day. However, I'm also prepared for it to not be the most amazing day ever, and that's okay. I just have faith that the following day is gonna be better. One of my clients, amazing and incredible individual, we were talking, and they are currently working on something in regards to kind of like self-esteem, self-love, and whatnot. And they said that what they've been doing lately is, and something that we've kind of always done, is if they have a shit day, they're like, okay, well, today was a shitty day, but that means that tomorrow is going to be definitely a better day. And they said if it's not a better day, then they're like, okay, well, this day was not better, but I can't have 2 to 3 shitty days back to back. And they usually don't. And I usually don't. And I'm sure you usually don't as well, if you have the mindset of, you know what, today was bad, but tomorrow's probably going to be better. And if it's not, okay, today also wasn't that good. But you know what? There's always still tomorrow. And that's something to look forward to. And that also in itself is faith. So, what can you do today? Or what is something that you can put your faith in today, or this weekend, I guess you could say. In that could be involving social anxiety. What is one social situation that you can have and put faith into and expect the best result for it? Let me know down in the comments if you'd like. If not, this can just be a self-thought that you can have. Other than that, thank you all so much for watching. I hope you have a great and amazing Friday and weekend, and I'll see you next week. Take care.